Hey, today I'm going to cover some actionable advice as well as a bit of a catch up on my goals and resolutions for 2018, as we're now like 3 weeks into January and I've only just published my last video where I covered the importance of setting goals and what some of my milestones for this year are going to be. I've actually sat on that video for like 3 weeks now. I originally filmed it on New Year's Eve. And then I've had all intentions of refilming it as I wasn't happy with it wasn't polished enough for me. I kept looking away, down at my notes, and pausing and then looking back. And I prefer it when I'm a bit more in the flow and a bit more spontaneous and like making eye contact with the camera. But I decided give up the need for perfection, just post it and move on with the next video. As a bit of a side note as well, I'm planning on. I've actually just downloaded Snapchat, so I'm gonna start uploading some short videos on there, maybe like micro vlogging. Maybe I will upload them onto YouTube as well, but under a completely different playlist to keep them separate from this vlog. They'll be more like just whilst I'm out and about on the way to a meetup and things, just sharing some of my thoughts and some like actionable things that you can do that I've found valuable in the past. But again, these videos are going to be a lot shorter than these longer form 10-15 minute videos. Okay, so also, yeah, if you're watching this on Facebook, I know Facebook has a lot more viewers on it in my immediate social circle and things, which is great. I'd really appreciate it if some of you could go across to like YouTube, where I'm Chris Roberts 87. And if you are enjoying these videos, just hit the subscribe button. That would be awesome. So yeah, some actionable advice then. I don't want to give advice on things that I've not actually tried and implemented myself, that I'm not, say, a practitioner of. So the kind of advice I want to give is what I'd give to myself if I met me like 5-10 years ago. So I actually was dancing with a girl the other week at the Mersey Swing Ball, and she told me she's an aspiring concept artist. She's studying now. I think she's still in her first year. So I gave her a little bit of advice about things that I wish I knew when I was in my second year of uni, because I think at that stage I pretty much had a CV and that wasn't even fully updated. Like if I was looking for a summer job, I dug it out and updated it. But now you've got the whole LinkedIn and social media and things like that where you can network. So I asked her if she had like a portfolio and if she had signed up for LinkedIn. So if you're not on LinkedIn, get on LinkedIn. And if you are on LinkedIn, this advice, you can implement this as well. So if you're just starting out on LinkedIn, how it works is you can connect with other people in your industry and other people you've worked with and went to school with and college with and things. And it's a bit more socially acceptable to connect with people who you feel you can offer value to, or maybe you think they'll be able to help you out. More than Facebook, where it's more your immediate social circle and people in clubs and societies that you already attend. But LinkedIn kind of has got some built-in rules and things which stop you from doing this so much. So if you're on the desktop version of the application, then if you try and add somebody, so you can search for different people or different job roles and things, if you see somebody that you'd like to connect with, then it'll ask you how you know them. And there's a bit of a drop down. Do you know them from school? Do you know them from work? Then which role was it in? So if you have never really worked with them and you don't really know them, then there's no proper option for that. And then sometimes it'll even ask for if you know their email address, and you've got to get their email address spot on to what they've submitted to LinkedIn. But there is a little bit of a hack to get around this. I'm not going to take credit for it. I actually read it somewhere else. But if you download the LinkedIn mobile app, what you can do is download that, put it on your phone, and then you can immediately search for people in your industry. So in this girl's situation, she may do like concept artists in Liverpool because that's where she lives and where she'd be looking for work. And boom, a massive list of concept artists will come up. And you can literally just go through that list, pressing connect. It won't ask you how you know them. Very occasionally it'll ask for their email address if they've got their profile set up that way, but otherwise you can just connect. And another little tip for doing this is the way LinkedIn's set up is it will tell you how connected you already are to this person. So if they've already accepted your connection or they've invited you and you've accepted theirs, then you'll be a first degree connection. If you've got one connection in common, then you'll be second degree, and then if you don't really know them, you're like third degree. So a great tip if you're just starting out or if you want to gain more contacts is search for all the recruitment consultants in your industry, because they will always accept your invitations, because they kind of know everybody in the industry. That's where their value comes to the market, that they know all these connections, both the hiring managers and the candidates looking for work. And I can tell you this, speaking as a past recruitment consultant for IT developers, so we will accept anyone's invitation. So yeah, hit them up. And then as soon as you've got like a couple of recruitment consultants, you're now second degree connections to everybody else that they're connections with in your industry. So when you do go on to, send a LinkedIn request to a hiring manager, they can already see that you're second degree rather than completely cold third degree, and you're not even on their radar. So that's some good advice. Bit of a tip as well. For every 100 people you send a thing to, not all of them are going to accept, but it's a numbers game. And a very small percentage of the people that you hit up on there will write you a quick message. Some of them will say, cheers for adding me, how can I help? That's a very common response. Some of them will say, do I know you? Or why have you added me? I find the best approach for this is just brute honesty. I'm just starting out in this industry, then search their profile, bring it up and see the skills that originally attracted you to them in the first place. And just say, hey, I noticed you in my case, you've worked in e-commerce, or you're great at PHP. I'm currently working in commerce and I'm really interested in web dev. I go to all these meetups and I just figured maybe I'd be able to help you out, or, would be of mutual benefit to each other as connections. And then usually they just accept and you move on. If not, no big deal. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Okay, so I suggested doing this, and again, you can use this method to once your connections with all these people. I guess it's kind of important to be seen as a wealth of knowledge in your niche as well. So you can post on LinkedIn like you would with Facebook, and there's a bit of a feed. So if you're going to a meetup like I do, I'll regularly post, last night's SEO meetup was awesome, and maybe I'll share a bit of advice that I found useful. And loads of my contacts are web developers and SEO people, and there's other people that are into business and content marketing, so maybe they'll see value in it, they'll comment, you've got a bit of an interaction with them as well, and you're just getting your name out there, I guess. And then if you are looking to transition into another role, then maybe some of these people that you've interacted with, you'll be able to just private message them, PM them, and just say, hey, are there any roles in your company or organization at the moment, or do you know anyone that is looking? And then another thing is you'll get people approaching you, which kind of gives you more power as well. Recruitment consultants will be searching on the skill sets that you've SEO'd and keywords, optimized your profile for. They'll find you and ask if you're looking for a new role. So yeah, loads of value there. Another little tip that I gave her was having some sort of online portfolio. You don't need to be a web developer and hand code your site like I'm doing in HTML, CSS, Bootstrap and things. You can get something as simple as Wix. It doesn't need to cost the world. My site cost me nothing. I pay 99p for the first year's domain name. In fact, I haven't even purchased a domain name for it at the moment. It's just a subdomain of .appspot.com. So I really need to sort that. And I'm just hosting it through Google. So yeah, just get your stuff out there. When you're putting links on these social networks, giving a bit of advice, you could link back to your blog or your portfolio, and just have things on there, valuable things, maybe some of the work that you've already done, and again, just sharing some of your knowledge. So in this girl's case, I guess it's best to find the medium that best suits you. If you're a bit of if you like talking into the camera, if that comes naturally to you, vlog it. If you're a really good writer, then write it. Write like a blog article, and you can submit. I'm not really a practitioner in this. I've never really used it, but you can do longer form article posting on LinkedIn, on the Pulse, or Medium as well. But I've never really experimented with that. But I've heard good things. And again, Twitter. Get on Twitter. Post for her, maybe she's more visual, so she wouldn't blog or vlog or do podcasts, but maybe she'll share some of the imagery she's been working on. Maybe she'll create some infographics, then pin them. Get on Pinterest, pin them with loads of hashtags, loads of relevant hashtags. Get them on Twitter, and then engage with your audience as well. Social media is, people see this media side and forget the social. When people comment, comment back, thanks, get involved in a bit of a discussion. I know Gary Vee always talks about the sort of the power of this. So when I'm using Everything Chester and they've got those like couple of thousand followers, if somebody ats me in something or somebody comments, I always make a point of commenting back. And I've really seen the power of this, well, last night actually. So I posted on my personal Twitter, just a really cool song about safety online by this guy called MC Lars, who I was fortunate enough to go and see in Wrexham probably 10 years ago now. Still listen to his music, still follow him on YouTube and things. He recently posted a collaboration with Wheatus and things, and it was a bit of a rap about safety online and trolling and digital cyberbullies and things. And he saw that and he commented, and it was really cool that the value that he's getting from that, because I was so excited. I went straight to Facebook. I was like, oh my god, MC Lars has just liked my post and commented, and I got involved in a bit of a discussion with him as well. So yeah, engage with your audience. And then I guess that's kind of, we'll leave that there. There's plenty of things you can be getting on with. So this year so far, we're 3 weeks in, and I've already mega busy, and my calendar's pretty full for at least the next month. So swing dancing, been getting on with that. So I go every Sunday, so it's Sunday now. I'll be going this evening to my lessons in Hull in Chester, my hometown. And then a couple of us have been getting the train to Liverpool as well. So every Wednesday we go to Mersey Swing. So the lessons there, and then just practicing at home. So that's really cool. Last weekend, where I met that girl I was talking about, the sort of digital artist, I met her at the Mersey Winter Ball as well. So rather than have it before Christmas, we had it at the Maritime Museum in Liverpool at the Albert Docks, and that was just 6 hours of dancing and meeting new people and socializing and practicing some of the skills. And then that was on the Saturday night, and then working all day Sunday, straight to Cheshire Swing Cats, and then meetups pretty much every night last week. I went to Chester Code Up. I'm co-organizer of that now, so I'm involved in more the social media side of it, promoting, and I've been sort of liaising with the guest speaker that we had. We ran a bit of a Python workshop as well. I say we ran it. I was more talking to the people that were coming along, posting it on meetup.com, tweeting it up and things like that. And just sort of getting the logistics right with Carwin, the guest speaker. But that was really valuable. I'd never really used Python before, but a lot of the concepts were very similar to Perl, which I did in my master's, and PHP, which I'm meaning to learn a lot more of, but never seem to get around to at the moment. There were slight differences, but again, all the concepts, I could see them sort of mirrored back at me, and I think I'll be able to pick that up quite easily, so that's on my to-do list. And then even afterwards, just Carwin stuck around, and we both kept saying, I'm going to shoot off in a minute, and then the conversation would flare up again. And I just sort of, glided out of there on cloud nine, because I was just mega excited about everything that's going on at the moment. He's as well as being very knowledgeable about Python and coding development, he's also a bit of a hub of social connections as well. He's from Bangor University, and he's just involved massively in the tech scene for North Wales, which I didn't realise was so big until, I knew things were going on, but he was on about some of these massive companies that are there, and we were discussing why they're there, and co-living spaces and co-working spaces and things. And yeah, just how again, I think I touched on this in the previous vlog, the really dark one where I was walking down the street and the visual quality wasn't so good. But you don't need to be in London, you don't need to be in Silicon Valley, there's loads going on. And companies are seeing the value in going to more rural places for those people that, they're into tech, they like, but you can kind of remote work now, so why live in the grind of the city if you're more of an outdoors person, when you could work for a up and coming awesome company in North Wales and have Snowdonia on your doorstep. So yeah, that was really cool too. Coming up, I've got the SEO meetup later this week. That's on Thursday, so I haven't met those guys for a while, so I'm looking forward to catching up with Andy and Craig and all the guys that go along to that. They've got a couple of talks on. Tomorrow, my alarm's going to go off at 5 o'clock in the morning, because I've got to get the 6:20 train from Chester to Birmingham. I'm going to P&P with work. So there's a bit of an exhibition there where all the industry people in apparel and print and embroidery are going to be there. So I'll be demoing the web shops again and making mad sales. So yeah, I've got that, and then there's another mobile development thing that I'll be attending, and the swing dancing. My diary's getting pretty full up for that as well. So I'm heading to Blackpool in a month or so. I've signed up for Leeds Swing Revolution, where I'm going to do my first competition, and then I'm now looking at going to like Bristol or Hull or possibly both. So yeah, absolutely loads going on. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there. Like I said, if you could go across to YouTube if you're not watching it there and hit the subscribe button, that would be awesome. I'm on Twitter, contact_Roberts, and now Snapchat with exactly the same handle on there. So at contact_Roberts. Brilliant. Right, I'll catch up later in the week, probably talking about P&P.